So he served an IPA in a snifter glass. So I took my back and shot him. Hi guys, welcome to another beer review, and I'm in the company of a superior breed of beer tuber right now, because I have just reached 300 subscribers, and this is review 800. So my superiority complex has been fed, and as you can see, I've gone all out in terms of presentation, because you're all beneath me now. Only joking. I do legitimately think I put more effort into my appearance to do beer reviews for strangers and close friends, of course, than I did actually putting in effort in my appearance with my ex-girlfriend. But I thought I would dress for the occasion, because it is a bit of a milestone, and it's two milestones in one, and I wanted to show my appreciation for all you guys, and to share what should be a special beer. So I'll get into the thank you stuff at the end, because I'm sure you're dying to see this handsome gent review a beer, and that's what I'm going to do for you. So today we're going back over to Tulle, and we are having a look at the Holy Moly Blackberries and Apples, a rustique golden ale brewed with blackberries, apples and raspberries. And yeah, so fruits on display. Can't speak today. Fruits on display. This is our more intense version of Holy Moly, or Holy Moly. A showdown of thick molasses, ripe apples and ruby blackberries. So I believe this is more along the lines of a Belgian style ale, or a Belgian strong ale, and it's clocking in at 9.4% ABV, and yeah, in a nice 750ml bottle with absolutely gorgeous artwork.
I can't even pronounce letters today.
With absolutely gorgeous artwork from Casper Leerdit once again. Not exactly too sure what the story is behind the iconography and then the Roman numerals. But it looks fantastic, doesn't it? So I'm a big fan of Tulle, one of my favourite breweries. I love the experimentation, or the experimental side of their brewing sometimes, and they can brew some really solid beers. I love, of course, the artwork and the branding, their ethos, and yeah, so I thought that I'd have something a little bit special from these guys, and I picked this up from Northern Beer Temple in Wigan. Fantastic bottle shop. Highly recommended. You go check it out if you're in the area. It's definitely my favourite bottle shop for sure. But yeah, so this has got a best before date of the 19th of the 6th, 2022. So it's still got some legs left. So anyway, let's see what we get with this beer. Now, the Belgian strong ale, as a base style, not one of my favourites, but with these sorts of beers, the addition of fruits genuinely does help it be a little bit more palatable for my personal tastes. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to it. I'm seeing how that molasses mixes in with the fruit, and it being a sort of a Belgian strong, can't even say proper letters, Belgian golden strong ale. So we shall see. So I've got the brand appropriate glassware, superior, and yeah, I just don't actually have the little ploppy thing to keep the beer fresh, because if this is going to be hard to drink, I don't want to have to drink all of it in one night. Thankfully, I'm only in work tomorrow evening, so I can get a tiny bit carried away. But anyway, this isn't chilled. This has been pretty much in my little cabinet thing since it came back, so we're drinking it at room temperature. I will probably end up putting it in the fridge once I've got the cap to... don't do that on camera. Probably put a cap in there just to keep it a little bit fresh, because could be an interesting beer to cook with. Who knows? Anyway, let's see what we get with this beer. There we are. Well, that's definitely active. Or it could just be my horrific pouring skills. And yeah, beer in a glass then. And You could definitely tell that there's molasses and fruit in there. It's got a lovely sort of caramel look to it. Very dense. Yeah, hazy as hell. You can't see through that at all. I would imagine if this is what it's like at this point, then there's probably going to be some bits and bobs floating around. But yeah, it doesn't even look like a beer, does it? It looks like it's a sort of a thick syrupy, almost like condensed milk or that tinned caramel that you can buy. But yeah, beer poured with a lovely 2 fingers worth of a beige head, and it actually matches the colour of the beer perfectly. It's a really lovely looking beer by all accounts. So let's see what we get on the nose. Ooh. It's got that Belgian muskiness there. But you definitely get the apple. I'm getting lots of apple on the nose. Then underneath that there's this sort of like tart blackberry. There's like the ever so slight hint of molasses. It's more of like a fruity sweetness, like the sugar's coming from fruits, as opposed to like a dense sort of cakey sweetness. But yeah, got a little bit of a clovey banana bread sort of aroma to it as well. It's quite Christmassy actually. But yeah, toffee apples, definitely. Yeah, and the more I smell it, the more that sort of like musky horse blanket. Who's actually ever smelt a horse blanket? Not me, but I just know that that's a descriptor. And this clip-on bow tie hasn't been put on properly. Well, it's not a clip-on bow tie because I've got a little bit more class than that. It's one of those ones where it's from Topman. Or no, was it from H&M? I think I got it from Germany. Of course, using my Bavarian neckerchief as whatever you call that in the pockets. And yeah, it's one of those ones where you clip it and then there's a strap around and then you hook it round. And I think because my neck is such a weird shape, it's not actually optimal for me. But
who cares? Yeah, this isn't a fashion show. Although, I mean, look at me, I'm looking pretty damn good. It's a beer show, so let's get back on with beer.
I've been playing a lot of Red Dead Redemption 2 as well, so I'm sort of like going for that classy saloon type guy, although I can't grow facial hair, it seems, so that's the look that I was aiming for, but yeah, oh well. But yeah, beer in a glass, and it looks fantastic. Smells good as well, so let's give it a taste. Cheers guys, and thank you for the 300. That's rich. That is very rich. That's going to take me absolutely ages to drink that. I've got a fucking 750ml bottle of it. Jesus. Where do I start? Definitely get that molasses right at the front of the beer. Then this sort of like appley, pear-like flavour cuts through that. Then there's this subtle tartness of like berries, blackberries, raspberries, that sort of thing. Then there's like this sort of like malted loaf sort of character. You get some raisins, and you know where the like malted loaf's like sticky on the outside. It's got that sort of, it's got real stickiness to it, and chewiness and denseness. Then that Belgian yeast cuts through on the back end. Thankfully, it's not that unpleasant lingering flavour that I get with a lot of Belgian style beers, because those fruits sort of, they complement that sort of flavour, but they also alleviate that flavour as well. But yeah, there's like loads of herbal tones on this. It's almost like a sage or rocket sort of character. So it delves into the savoury aspect. I can imagine this would be pairing beautifully with some nice roasted pork or something like that, with like a sort of like an apple brandy sauce with a bit of Belgian. Yeah, it's going to be good for cooking with, so I might have to keep hold of some. A little bit tingly on the tongue as well. That first flavour was quite a big hit, I'm not going to lie. But yeah, this is a sipper for sure. Not just because of that ABV, because quite frankly, it's masked quite nicely, but because it is quite bold and intense. Excuse me. Lovely burp. Somewhat bold and intense. and it's definitely a Marmite beer for sure. If you like your Belgian style strong ales, then you're probably going to really enjoy this one. If you're a bit on the fence with the style, then maybe just steer away for a bit. I would like to try the standard version to see what differences there were, but yeah, you're getting exactly what it advertises: blackberry and apples with a bit of a musky, leafy Belgian flavour. And that molasses definitely adds a bit more density to the beer. But that being said, the body is not too heavy or sickly at all. But yeah, a really intriguing beer. It's definitely, I'd say, more of a sharing beer. This would be perfect for a bottle share. Perfect aged as well. I'd like to see what this would be like aged for a little bit. Because I'm not sure when it was bottled on, but I have been seeing this bottle in Northern Beer Temple for like the past year or so. So I'm not sure if it is a fresh beer or not. And I'd imagine because they've got the Roman numerals MCML XXXV. Oh my god. I'm so dumb because I don't know what that means. Who needs this? Do you know what I mean? It's like, why are you being taught maths when we've got calculators and computers that can calculate mathematical problems for us? Do you know what I mean? That's not just me being an ignorant child at school, because that has actually followed on through to my adult life. But yeah, it's like, if you know that, then good for you. I will find the vintage and it will be in the title and all that sort of stuff. So any smart asses out there, I appreciate each and every one of you with like your 300, giving me 300 subscribers, but you're not exempt from my wrath. Because I'm in BeerTube royalty now. Oh, I'm getting drunk tonight and I'm going to hit a woman. Because apparently that's what established BeerTubers do, apparently. That's a joke, by the way. I would never raise my hand against someone who didn't deserve it. Getting a bit more of that apple flavour coming through now. And it is quite drying on the back end as well. So if you don't like your dry beers, then you might not like this one. Not gonna lie, it's not 100% my thing. But it does have a real sense of occasion and luxury to it. I can't imagine people would drink this regularly. It's definitely one that you'd save and share. But yeah. It's very Christmassy. And I'm slightly thinking, I've got other big bottles in the cupboard that I could have used for a milestone review. And I'm thinking to myself, maybe I should have kept that for like my roast dinner. My Christmas dinner, do you know what I mean? But yeah, definitely going to have to look into some recipes where Belgian ales are used, because I think that would have worked perfectly with something like pork. But, yeah. Yeah, it's a lovely beer. Tiny bit undecided whether I'm really, really enjoying it. It's beautifully brewed. It's very authentic tasting. I definitely think the addition of fruits, even though apple's not really ever my favourite sort of flavour, I think the addition of fruits just help make it a bit more palatable for me. But that sort of like over-boiled and over-brewed teeth character on the back end is coming through a little bit now. But yeah, it's a lovely, lovely beer, perfect for this time of the year. So I think I'm drinking it at just the right time, but it would have been nice to maybe keep hold of this one for a little bit longer. But that being said, there's no harshness at all, and that ABV is, the sweetness from the molasses and the fruits is just masking that beautifully. There's like maybe the slightest warming as it's going down, but that's about it really. But yeah, definitely a beer to drink to celebrate. And all joking aside, even though I am BeerTube royalty now, but all joking aside, I seriously I can't think of what I'm going to say now. I didn't prepare for this. Bear me 1 second. I would like to thank my family and friends. I'd like to thank God, because without him, none of this would have been possible. It's been a long time coming. I've deserved this for a hell of a long time now. And if it wasn't for the faults of other people, then I would be a much bigger beer tuber. But we can't get into that here. It's all about celebrating me and my accomplishments, which I thank you all for. But seriously, guys, thank you so much for subscribing, watching, support me over the years of doing this. You know, when it comes to beer, I don't know much, right? It's not about trying to be an expert or anything like that. It's just about sharing my beery journey, giving my thoughts and opinions, and also potentially giving my recommendations and inspiring people to try this. Because, you know, it all started drinking lagers as a teenager, getting like 24 packs and demolishing them before we went out to town, getting drunk even more with some of the worst hangovers. Although I could cope with hangovers much better. I did have a lead stomach. That's changed out because I'll probably feel like death just drinking this. But yeah, it went from that to going, it's a bit boring. Don't really want to get into like the whiskies or the long drinks, although, you know, gin is probably my favourite spirit, and I do like the odd bourbon here and then. But yeah, it went from that to trying real ales, see what's in the supermarkets, doing that typical thing of, oh, it's 4 for £6 or 3 for £5. Getting 3 beers, 4 beers when you go shopping, try them. Maybe if you like one of the beers, you'll get that again, but get 2 others. Keep doing that. Then maybe try just completely different beers. Then, of course, it evolves into going to bottle shops and to bars, and then, of course, online. And now the supermarkets are churning out some really interesting beers at the moment. So it's a wonderful time to be someone who's conscientious about the beer that they drink. And that's what it's all about, really. Plus, the most important thing for me, and this SOP alert, is I've met some of the most amazing people from doing this, and I've come to know people who I would consider not only lifelong friends from this point forward, but they're part of me, they're part of my family. You know, it all really kicked off with the for me personally, although people were meeting up, you know, because I was in Germany, that went to shit. I had these guys surrounding me, keeping me strong. Then I got to finally meet up with a lot of them. I've met with a few of them since then, and it's all been absolutely wonderful. And that's what it's all about that's what it's all about for me, is it goes from, I know I use that sometimes, oh, it's just a beer, it's just a beer. It's all about context, really, when you're debating like that. But it's stuff like this where it's more than just beer. It's more than just an alcoholic beverage. I've come to know so many great people, had so many great experiences, and you guys have been part of that as well. So I'm terrible at replying to comments. I'm terrible on my social media platforms. But I hope you enjoyed the videos that I put out there, and any interaction I get. It really means a hell of a lot to me. So this is dedicated to you all, my beer brothers and sisters, the fans of beer, not me, because fans. The fans of the brewing culture, the boys and girls here who keep this community alive and on the various platforms as well. And yeah, of course, my little family of beer brothers. Sounds really quite homoerotic when I put it like that. But you know, it's you guys as well who make this all the more rewarding. So in terms of a rating, I'm going to give this one a very solid 8 out of 10. Maybe if I'd tried more beers of this style, it might get a bit of a better score. It might get a bit of a lesser score. But one thing for certain is to all know how to make really good beer. And they've done it again. That beer keeps changing the more I drink it. Now I'm getting a bit of pepper in there. So it's very complex and very robust. But it's palatable at the same time. And it doesn't veer off into any strange or uncharted territories. So yeah, thank you for the 300 views. thank you for supporting me on 800 unique beer reviews. And yeah, here's to 300 more subscribers, 800 more beer reviews, meeting up with a lot of you guys again. And yeah, and now I get to hang out with some of my beer brothers on YouTube, which I'm looking forward to. And yeah, I genuinely appreciate it, guys. If you've tried this one, then let me know your thoughts, opinions. Are you a fan of beers like this? And yeah, thank you for watching, and thank you for subscribing, thank you for the support, and hopefully I shall see you next time. See you guys later, and you all take care.